Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. All right, you guys, peep game. All right, for those that have been following my channel for the longest, I've been on here for a while, going on 8 years. And one thing about me, I've always tried to stick to my guns. At the end of the day, you can change your mind about certain things, but there was one particular subject that I always stood tall on and stood firm on. And the more I think about it, I further feel like at the end of the day, Kevin Durant, the biggest mistake Kevin Durant made in his career was leaving Golden State. At the end of the day, Kevin Durant shouldn't have paid attention to the critics. He shouldn't have paid attention to the fans. He should have stayed with the Golden State, where he shouldn't have paid Draymond Green no mind. At the end of the day, Draymond Green, Kevin Durant. I'll say this again. Draymond Green, Kevin Durant. Draymond Green's numbers to Kevin Durant's numbers. Kevin Durant, first ballot Hall of Famer. Draymond Green, question mark, Hall of Fame, period. One thing that I trip out about Kevin Durant, to a certain degree, he reminds me a little bit of myself. And the funny thing is, me and Kevin Durant have the same exact birthday, September the 29th. Me, Kevin Durant, and one of the greatest wide receivers that ever played football, Calvin Johnson. And Brian Gumble. So, right there, us four, that's greatness. But nevertheless, Kevin Durant is an exceptional basketball player. But one thing that tripped me out about Kevin Durant, sometimes he would let stuff get to him. And sometimes he would hold it in. And then I noticed sometimes he had that explosion, because I felt that way at certain times, because dealing with some of these cornballs on YouTube, I tried sometimes in situations to just turn the other cheek. And some of these goofballs on here was thinking, because I, just took the high road, they thought that was fear, and they thought that I was afraid of them and that kind of stuff, and thought that they was punking me. It's a couple of cornballs that still think that way, but I'm just here to tell you, ain't nobody scared of you dudes. If you happen to see me in person, then, we could take it from there. Real talk. But nevertheless, now that I got that out the way, I just think about it. Like I said, Kevin Durant and the criticism he got for going to the Warriors was the fakest cap I had ever seen in my life. All this crap about you don't go to the team that beat you at one time or another, you lost to a team. So that didn't make any kind of sense. It was a fake narrative that was pushed by the media. And if you don't see by now that the media is full of crap over the past few years, in particularly guys like Stephen A. Smith talking about it was a weak move and all that stuff. Like Stephen A. Smith, if he was a free agent, when his contract was up, he wouldn't go back to Fox if they offered him twice as more money as ESPN offered him. Or he wouldn't go to CBS. It didn't make no kind of sense. But like I said, LeBron fans, they were the main culprits pushing that narrative, because they was mad. They knew Kevin Durant going to the Golden State Warriors. They knew no more rings for LeBron as long as Kevin Durant played at Golden State, because he played alongside one of the, top 15, top 10 greatest basketball players of all time, and Stephen Curry. Then not to mention, he also on the other side of him played alongside Klay Thompson. So Kevin Durant had the luxury of playing with two of the best shooters in the history of basketball. But the thing is, they tried to change the narrative and tried to make it look like LeBron James going to play alongside Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade wasn't the same situation, when actually it was. Don't try to give me that crap about, well, their record. No. At the end of the day, you had, at one time with the Miami Heat, you had 3 of the top 10, arguably maybe top 12, worst case scenario on the same team. And nobody said a damn thing about it. They praised it. They thought it was cool for the most part. The only thing they was mad about LeBron was how he went about announcing he was joining the Miami Heat. I'm taking my talents to him. That was it. That was all. And then before, like I said, people acted like the so-called super team started with LeBron James and Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade. But they had super teams back in the day. Or basically they, you know what I'm saying? Basically, they had teams basically getting dudes for the short term. The same thing the 76ers did with Moses Malone. Basically rented Moses Malone out temporarily to help Dr. J beat the Lakers in the finals. So they had super teams for a while. That's just real talk. But they started to, keep in mind, they didn't have the type of media they had, the social media and all that kind of stuff. Because the media was pretty much controlled by one entity. That was either CBS, ABC, NBC, or Fox. They didn't have all these different media outlets to like push narratives or basically give people a different outlook. Everybody pretty much followed the same script back then. So I'm just saying, whether you drafted a super team or whether you built a super team, and like I said before, same thing with the Lakers with the Karl Malone, Gary Payton going to the Lakers. People were saying it was a wrap. They wasn't talking about how unfair it was when the Lakers had a starting lineup of 4 first ballot Hall of Famers. And you can holler about Karl Malone and Gary Payton were past their prime, but at the end of the day, they were starting. Like I said, same thing when Scottie Pippen teamed up with Charles Barkley. And basically that particular Houston Rockets team was the one John Stockton 3-point shot away from going to the finals. Was anybody hollering about, age, weak moves and all that stuff? Once again, it was just a fake narrative. And like I said, I don't care if you respond. I don't care if you get mad. I always thought it was baloney when people started ragging on Kevin Durant about him joining the Golden State Warriors. It was never about it being a weak move. It was about they knew it would mean LeBron James not getting no rings. And if Kevin Durant was still on that Golden State Warriors team, had he never left, Kevin Durant probably would have his 3rd or 4th championship. Maybe even 5. Stephen Curry might have 6 or 7 championships because nobody would have beat that Golden State Warriors team. And I just want to say to Giannis, thank Kevin Durant for going to the Brooklyn Nets, because if he was still playing with the Warriors, you wouldn't have that 1 ring you got. And I don't care if nobody get mad. I ain't taking no subliminal. I ain't sneak dissing nobody. But if you get mad about it, that's your problem. So I'm just saying, Kevin Durant was still with the Golden State Warriors. Wasn't nobody winning no rings. And that's what the league was worried about. They knew it wouldn't be fair. Warriors would have been too dominant. And that's real talk. And at the end of the day, let's just keep it a buck. Had Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant not got hurt in that finals versus the Raptors, the Warriors would have destroyed them. They would have destroyed the Raptors in 5 games. That's just real talk. And if Kevin Durant had decided to come back and they would have had that same matchup, the Warriors would have swept them. Kevin Durant shouldn't have listened to nobody. He should have stayed with the Golden State Warriors, and he should have gave everybody the middle finger. He should have ignored everybody. But Kevin Durant was letting what the media was saying get to him and all that. You're not the bus driver. You're not the guy. He just should have ignored it. And that's just real. He should have just said, oh, well. Oh, these championships don't count. Why? Why don't it? If you count LeBron James winning his fourth championship in a bubble, why wouldn't you count Kevin? It was weak what he did. Man, get out of here. You don't go to the team that beat you. Says who? Says who's? Who? Y'all? I mean, for real. That's the only issue I have with Kevin Durant. It's called free agency. He was a free agent. He had every right to go to the Golden State Warriors. Why is his championship rings diminished? At the end of the day, like I keep saying, it was all cap. They act like the Golden State Warriors got to pick what teams they wanted to play. Like I said, I mean, for real. It's not like you get to play who you want to play. The Warriors had to play the same 82 game schedule, the same 32 teams like everybody else. There ain't no such thing as a bye series in the NBA. So the Warriors still had to play teams to get there. Do anybody, you know what I'm saying? Do anybody diminish what the Chicago Bulls did? How dominant the Chicago Bulls was? But like I said, at the end of the day, quiet is kept. Michael Jordan got out right on time. But I'm saying he got out as he was getting a little bit older. But I'm saying this Golden State Warriors team, I'm telling you, had they stayed together, they would have won. Like I said, they would have won at least. Kevin Durant probably would have 3, 4, maybe 5 rings by now. But for people to say it don't count because he went to the Golden State, that don't make any kind of sense. Real talk. He ended the record books along with everybody else. And like I said, the only problem was he went to the Bay Area instead of going to the Lakers. Had Kevin Durant went to the Lakers, they for real. Had Kevin Durant left the Warriors and joined the Lakers when LeBron was there, it wouldn't have been no problem. So he should have stayed at Golden State. But we all know behind the scenes that the league basically harassed him and basically told him to go play in the East Coast so it could better LeBron James' chances of winning the ring, because they didn't want to see Kevin Durant knocking LeBron James out of the playoffs or the finals every year. So there you have it. I'm just keeping it a buck. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Town Biz. I'm out.